Tales from a Life in Hollywood. Best title ever.
It's
Cody's got the details.
Jim Piddock joining us right now to tell us all about the book. So, first question, are you wearing pants right now?
Of course not. No, of course not.
Fantastic.
Let me just say, I'm so happy to be coming on the show. Not after the dancing popcorn, because how do you follow that?
You can't follow dancing popcorn. You're right. You're right. Dude, this book is so good. Like, it starts at the beginning and all the way through. The stories are absolutely incredible. But the first thing I got to ask you about is that your role on Best in Show. When you said in there you only had one day to tape all that stuff, is that true?
That's right. Yeah, I was doing another show in England for the BBC, and I had to fly out in the middle of that for 3 days to shoot Best in Show, and they were running behind. So in the end, I had literally 1 day to shoot it with Fred, from dawn to, well, pre-dawn to post-dusk. And we did everything in that empty stadium, and with a few extras behind us to make it look full. And Chris Guest would say, okay, we'll show you tape of what we did the show yesterday. We taped it, and we'd go, and off we went. And I kind of rode on Fred's coattails.
It's so brilliant and so funny. But so there was no script. It was all ad lib.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I've written with Chris as well. We've done a couple of things together, a TV series and a movie called Mascots. And what we do is write very, very detailed outlines, and then the actors kind of go from there. So there are suggested jokes and lines, but some are less fleshed out than others. And in this case, it was basically description of Fred being this boorish, bull in a china shop American guy, and me being the straight British kind of dog expert, and go, do your thing. And with Fred, I think Chris knew he could do that, and what would come out would be great, and you never know what's going to come out of his mouth. And what was great is I didn't know what was going to come out of his mouth, so I could react in real time.
That is fantastic. You tell a story about your grandfather in here, which I absolutely love. So your grandfather worked with Charlie Chaplin back in England, but decided not to come to America because the Hollywood thing was a fad?
Yeah. His father, my great-grandfather, was a singer and a comedian. And he told him, no, this is no point in going to join Chaplin in America, because it's just a passing fad, the movie business. And so he never went. So I felt like when I did come at the tender age of 24, I was sort of picking up a loose thread left a generation removed.
That is hilarious. Okay, so you came to America with how much money in your pocket?
$100 in my pocket. Yeah. I'd worked for a couple of years as an actor in sort of fairly low-level repertory theatre, and then I was coming to direct a couple of shows at the drama school that I'd gone to in London. They'd opened up in San Francisco, in Berkeley actually, and I went there to direct a couple of shows. And in my back pocket, I had a one-man show about a soccer goalie that I finally battered somebody into submission to produce in San Francisco. And it was miraculous. It took off in a big way. And I literally went from 0 to 10, because I think maybe 6-7 months later, I was starring on Broadway in a show with George C. Scott.
Man, I'm telling you, this book is so chock full of great stories. Where can people get the book?
Well, right now you can pre-order it on Amazon, the ebook, and then the regular paperback copy and the audio book, which I've just finished narrating, you can pre-order on March 13th, and it's on general release on March 23rd. But hopefully it'll entertain everyone, whether they are interested in show business or not interested. I think there's a lot of stories in there.
I've read it, and I'm going to get the audio copy because I want you to read it to me when we commute together, and you get to pay for gas. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it, man. All right, stick around. We got more in the show coming up. Thanks, Jim.
My pleasure.